Hi guys, Tavi at Glossop Gardening Services, and you're going to join me today on one of my regular maintenance jobs. And this one, I'll just be showing you sort of my process of doing a hedge, the way I do it. I'm not saying it's the right way to do it, but it works for me. A lot of people probably do it my way. It's nothing new. Some people might do it differently, and it works for you. But this is how I do it. We'll also look at how I've priced it. And before I tell you how much it's cost the customer, this isn't across the board pricing. This is a one-off because it's gone on an hourly rate. So this maintenance job is on an hourly rate because it's a fairly big garden, and I took it on when I sort of first started and thought, how am I going to price this? It'll be hard to price per visit because the cost would sound extortionate. And I thought at the time it was better if I put it on an hourly rate. They'd understand exactly what they're getting, how much they're paying. But yeah, we'll get into that. Let's get to the job. I've already done the job, but this is the intro video because I didn't like the last one out of the job. So yeah, next you'll see sort of the hedge and stuff like that, and then we'll have another chat afterwards, and I'll tell you how much it costs the customer, and yeah, stuff like that. So this is the garden. All I do on here is the grass. We'll leave the borders and stuff a bit wild because the customer prefers it like that. And I just sort of trim up any shrubs, the hedge right around the conifer that goes right around the property and the back. So we've done the grass today, done this one, and there's another patch in the back garden. But what we're going to look at today is this section of conifer here. So I'll set the camera up and I'll show you the process, how I do it, what works for me anyway. I'm not saying it's the right way to do it, and most people probably do it the same way. But yeah, I'll show you how I do it and then what I've charged to do this section. We're not going to be touching the rest of them today, just this one. Mainly going to be using the Stihl HS82 RC. It's not really the right one for the job. It'd be better with the T version with a finer tooth spacing, but this is what I brought today, so we're just going to make do. all done. Well, not quite, but just got tidy up down there. But yeah, let us know what you think. How would you charge it? What would you price this at? Let us know in the comments. But yeah, there's still a lot of hedges to do, but I can start looking at getting them done in sections when it quietens down a bit. Just keep me busy. And we're back. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think I went over it, but basically with hedges, I always do the sides first. Most people probably do that. Some might start at the top. But doing the sides first works for me. Let me just shut these windows because it might be causing a racket. Yeah, so I do the sides and then get the ladders out if needed, and I'll do the top. And as I'm doing the top, the sort of edge of where the top meets the side, I'll sort of soften it up. I do that on most hedges and I think it looks good. I've never had a complaint yet not to do that. But yeah, that's what I do. I do the sides, level the top off if possible, unless it's a hedge that's been done over the years by someone else and it's all over the place. Sometimes you've got to just ride the hedge. You got to just follow it how it's been cut unless they want it leveling off. Yeah, and I'll just soften that edge. I'll sort of curve it a bit if you can. Sometimes I'll leave a sharp edge on it, but that's, you get that on, like, you can sometimes do it on privets, your buxus, or like your box hedges. If you leave a sharp edge, it looks pretty nice. But conifers, most of the time you can't get a crisp edge and it looks a bit crap, so I tend to just curve it off. Looks a lot better. But yeah, that job was one of my regular maintenance jobs, and all I do on that property is I cut the grass. I don't touch any of the borders, no flower beds, don't really do any weeding, because they said don't worry about the flower beds and stuff like that. We do that. And I thought, brilliant. Yeah, I don't have to do any beds. I don't have to do any flower beds. Not that I'm saying I hate them, but they're not my favourite. But yeah, they're not my favourite, so I don't have to touch flower beds, and that's fantastic. It's like the dream job. I just do lawns, some weed spraying. I get the sprayer out, I go around, like the hard areas. I just spray the little weeds coming up, and then there's a conifer that pretty much goes right around the property. But I don't touch it all year. One, because of nesting season. You can still cut the hedge in nesting season as long as there's no active nests and stuff like that, but they're happy to just leave it until nesting season's over, and then once things start not quieting down, but yeah, sort of September, October, I'll start moving onto the hedges, and there's no rush. With it being on an hourly rate, they're happy for me to just do a section one visit if I've got the time, do a bit of the next. It works out great. So the hourly rate on that job is £40 per hour, and I can get a lot done in £40 an hour. It might sound a lot, it might not sound enough, but I've not had a complaint yet saying it's too expensive. I think it's good value for money for what they're getting, and usually that includes grass cutting, hedge cutting to an extent. Like if you've got a 4-meter hedge and I need to bring like henchmen and stuff like that, then that's priced as a one-off. But your smaller hedges, your shrubs and stuff, it's included in the hourly rate. So that section of conifer that we did today cost the customer 40 quid, and it took an hour. It took me an hour. It took me half an hour to trim it up, and then there was like you tidying up, stuff like that. It wasn't quite an hour. It was a little bit less, but yeah, it cost the customer 40 quid, which I think is not a bad price. some might think it's too expensive, some might think it's far too cheap, and I need to up my prices. But yeah, it just works on that job. I go to that job every fortnight. Every fortnight, it's a 1-2 hour visit, sometimes a 3 hour visit if they want me to spend that long there. So over the year, it's good money. I get a good bit of income from that job. And then days where it rains or stuff like that, it's one of the jobs I can sort of fall back onto, look at the hedges. Yeah. So everything on that job is all the hedges, it's an hourly rate, and I don't have to break my back. I don't drag my knuckles around the garden. Yeah, take the piss because I'm on an hourly rate. But yeah, for them it works. It works for us both. I make a decent bit of money. I can make more on the jobs where it's just per visit, but that's the same for everyone. Everyone's going to have jobs. Maybe not everyone, but there's going to be some gardeners out there as well, and it's a bit of a mishmash. You have like your per visit, your one-offs, your hourly rates. I believe for what you get and the work that I've done within that hour, it's a good price. But yeah, let me know what you think. Another thing I'd be interested to hear from people is the hedge cutter I used on that job was the Stihl. A lot of people will be familiar with it. The Stihl HS82 RC, which means it's the rough cut model basically. It's good for like your hedge reductions. It can go through like inch thick stuff, no problem. But I have the 24-inch model and the 30-inch model. I don't have the T version, which is it's a finer tooth spacing, and it's a lot better for sort of your privets, leylandii, your buxus, box hedges, like your finer shaping work. I don't have one yet, and I'm thinking, is it just Stihl that have that sort of hedge trimmer, or do Honda have one, or who else? Husqvarna. Yeah, I'm keen to know what people think. Whether they use something different, whether they use the Stihl. No, I know Stihl's pretty good, but whether there's any other brands that I can sort of explore. Yeah, I'm all ears. I'm all ears basically. So if you do have any recommendations, just drop it in the comments. I'll take a look, and then yeah, because I could do with getting one pretty soon, especially this time of year. We'll be doing a lot of hedges, so it'll be perfect time to get it done. I think that just about covers everything for today. Let us know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, like, share. I'd really appreciate it. If you subscribe, even better. I'll try to keep pushing this content out, whether it's sort of my reviews of my new kit or on the job, doing jobs, pricing, stuff like that. Yeah, thanks for watching. Ciao.